What's going on, guys, and welcome to another video talking about Gran Turismo Sport. Today I'm going to be responding to some comments that were left on my previous Gran Turismo Sport video where I talked about why I wouldn't be buying the game when it first comes out. Now, I'm not actually going to be focusing on specific comments here. What I've done is I've looked through all of the comments that have currently been posted on that video, which there are almost 100 of now as of recording this, and I've basically taken a few little pinpoints of things that most people are talking about, and I want to go over those. Now, these are all pretty much negative things towards me in some way, or just negative. It's stuff. I mean, you'll get it when I go through these, but I basically have 5 things right here. I'm going to go through all 5 of them, and yeah, these are just things that people have been bringing up in comments. So we're going to start off with this. The progression of a campaign is boring. Who wants to drive a really slow car for ages to slowly work up to faster cars? Now, a few people said this. They said that they don't like the whole thing where you start with a really crappy car and you have to drive that crappy car for, I don't know, a few hours or however long you have to drive it for, and slowly you get quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker until you're driving hypercars and race cars. And some people don't like that, and if that's you, then fine. I don't, if that's your opinion, then whatever. I don't care. But the thing is, that is what Gran Turismo was. Gran Turismo was the campaign of Gran Turismo. It's, you have a crap car, you work up to better cars. That's just how it works, and that is how it's called progression, basically. And yeah, a lot of people are saying that that's boring. They don't like that. Fair enough. If you don't like that, then that's fine. But I mean, a lot of games these days seem to just want to chuck you in with a fast car straight away, and I think that's for these impatient people that just they're like, oh, I don't want to start off with a slow car. I don't want to feel like I'm working up to something, and I do find that a little bit annoying because progression is progression. You start off with something slow, you get to something quick. You don't want to start with the quickest car because then you don't feel like you're achieving anything. You need to feel like you're achieving something. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I want to talk about. That was one of the most commented things. Quite a few people were saying that. So then I'll move on to my second point, which is the AI are never a challenge anyway. Racing real people will be more challenging. Now, not many people, but a couple of people said this. That the AI in Gran Turismo is not particularly challenging, and I can totally agree with that. I mean, Gran Turismo 6, which is the Gran Turismo that I've played the most, is quite easy because the problem is the cars, the AI all drive on rails. So basically they take a specific route and then they just go for it and go all the way around and do whatever they do. Which means that you don't really get good racing because they're just kind of on this line all the time. So yes, I can understand what you're saying there. So fair enough, but I mean, saying that, the Polyphony could very easily make better AI. I mean, Project Cars and Assetto Corsa, they have pretty decent AI. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than Gran Turismo 6, Gran Turismo 5 and all them. So what is stopping Polyphony from just getting a better AI system? I mean, I'm pretty sure every racing game has a better AI system than Gran Turismo. So yeah, saying that they're not a challenge, I can understand why you say that. However, that doesn't mean that Polyphony can't make it more challenging. I mean, that's what you've got to do. That's what they've got to do. If they're making a new game, they've got to make it better than the other games. So, that is something that could definitely happen. And then saying that racing real people will be more challenging, I can understand this in a way because, Gran Turismo Sport's going to be a more competitive kind of esportsy sort of game, so it'll at least put you with people of your own skill level. But I've always had the thing with online racing games, every time I've played online in any racing game pretty much, you just get pushed out of the way. People just don't care and they just push you around all over the place. I think this may be solved with Gran Turismo Sport because it is going to be more esports focused, competitive, so I think it will be I think that aspect will be okay. And if you're racing with real people around your skill level, that could be quite fun. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm really not saying it isn't, but that's just something to think about there, I suppose. Next up, Polyphony want to make GT an online competitive racing game. They will eventually make GT7 with a proper campaign mode. So this is people saying, which once again was a fairly commented thing, saying that well, first of all, we'll start off with the online competitive racing game. That's what they're wanting to do with Gran Turismo. Okay, fine. That's okay, I suppose. But I don't think it should take up a spot of the main game. because Gran Turismo's always been about the story and all that sort of stuff. It's never really been fully about online. I mean, the first Gran Turismos, I imagine, didn't even have online. Like PlayStation 1, I'm pretty sure PlayStation 1 didn't even have online. I'm fairly certain it didn't have online, because I don't think there was there internet? I mean, there probably was internet back then, but whatever. The old Gran Turismo games wouldn't have had online. So, yeah, okay, whatever. If they want to make it a competitive racing game, then sure, but they can't get, if they want to do that specifically. I mean, it's their game, I suppose, so they can do what they want, but at the same time, they've made a franchise which was originally more focused on this progression thing, going back to the progression. That's what the game was originally focusing on. So to just change it, I mean, if they want to do that, then sure, they can do that, but what that'll do to their player base, we don't really know. And then finally, you know, GT7, they'll make GT7 later on with a proper campaign mode. I'm sure they will. I'm fairly sure there will be a Gran Turismo 7, which will be more like, you know, GT6, GT5, which has online, but it also has a campaign mode. However, how long are we expecting for this? Are we expecting another year? Another 2 years? Are we expecting another 4 years? Because I mean, it's been 4 years since Gran Turismo 6. So are we expecting to wait another 4 years for Gran Turismo 7? So that means 8 years between GT6 and GT7. Is that what we're expecting? I mean, I don't know. I think it will happen eventually, but that's a long time to wait, let's be honest. Now, going off of that as well, most games nowadays are online only. Now, this is one that I don't really understand. Yes, I do understand that a lot of games these days are online only. You know, you've got Counter-Strike, you've got Overwatch, what else? PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, you know, things like that. All shooters that I'm naming apparently. But they work. I don't know how to explain it really. But okay, let me say it like this: if, let's say GTA Online is a massive thing, but if the next GTA game, they were like, okay, we're gonna revamp online, we're gonna give you an online game, but for GTA 6 we're not gonna give you a campaign, we're not gonna give you a single player, we're not gonna give you a story mode, you've just got online. That, people would not be happy with that. People would really not be happy about that. And I mean, in a way, that's kind of how this is happening. I mean, not to quite as big of a scale as that, but you know, it's kind of the same sort of thing. You know, if they just took the campaign and the career mode from GTA 5, people wouldn't be happy. They would not be happy. So that's kind of what's happening here. I think if they did a separate little thing, you know, a separate series, I suppose, then I could understand them having it, you know, online focus, but I just don't know if it's really going to work for, you know, Gran Turismo as a series. And then the final thing I have here is there will be a campaign eventually, but as a DLC. Now, I don't know what to say about this. I saw a couple of comments of people saying that apparently GT6 was actually, it didn't have a campaign mode, but then it got given one just before the game started. So I mean, that's not DLC, but just before the game came out, I think they brought a campaign out. I don't know that. I haven't done any research on that, and I got GT6 after it had been released for about 3 years. So I don't know about that, but yeah, that's apparently a thing. But bringing out a campaign as DLC, yeah, what? That's not gonna work. I mean, presuming it's not a paid DLC, if they do that and it's a paid DLC, there's going to be some uproar, because GT Sport is a full price game. Let's remember that. GT Sport, full price game, bringing out a DLC career mode that costs money, never going to work. Never going to work. That's not going to work at all. But if they bring it out in an update or something, I mean, I guess, but do you think they're really going to do that? Do you really think they're going to do that? I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. They might add a few of these like driver lessons and, you know, all these little missions and stuff. They're not gonna get a whole campaign as a DLC. I mean, I don't think they are anyway. So I saw a couple of people saying that, and I don't agree with that really. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't think that's gonna happen. There's no campaign at the moment. Maybe right at the last second, maybe they'll think, oh, you know what, we're actually gonna put a campaign mode in. But at this current point in time, the game's only what, a month away from coming out. Still no sign of a campaign mode, so who knows. But anyway, I've been rambling on a lot for this video. I'm expecting a lot of dislikes on this because people are, well, they're a bit mean and they're not very nice. But anyway, that's me replying to some of the little things people have been saying in the comments of my last GT Sport video. I will link it in the description below so that you can check it out if you would like to, if you haven't seen it already. Tell me what you guys think of this. Do you think GT Sport's gonna be a success? Are you happy with how it's going, or are you like me and you're a bit like, oh, I'm not such a big fan, which is apparently a very people like to, you know, have a go at me for that, and that's very annoying. But anyway, whatever, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not like that. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.